Good Monday morning. I'm starting the vlog today in bed because I want to share a vlog all about kind of my day in the life, healthy habits, and what I do just to feel good every day. I mentioned recently in a video that I've been experiencing a bit of a funk, stuff happening in my life that's making me feel a little overwhelmed, and in those times there is nothing better than just going back to basics on the things that you know make you feel good. That said, I'm here cuddling Roxy because this is a part of my routine that really helps me to feel good, and it's just the perfect start to a day. I went downstairs, I made my cup of coffee like you saw. I got some light in my eyes. That's something I've been trying to do recently because it really helps with your circadian rhythm to start the day with some sort of sunlight within the first hour. So I went outside, walked around the garden, watered the beds. I've just been having a slow start to the day. I've done a little bit of work this morning on my new ASUS laptop. I got this laptop recently and I've just been learning, using it and everything, and it is so great, which is a beautiful laptop. Zeus agrees, and it is just been such a lovely experience using it as a content creator. Very excitingly, ASUS and AMD are sponsoring this video. The image quality is incredible on the OLED screen. The processing power is so fast. I've been loving it, and I'm using it this morning because it's such a lightweight laptop. I can just have it in bed with me, get some work done, start the day, and this is something I really try and do because it just means I feel productive first thing. I know it's not for everybody, but for me, my brain is alive in the morning. Everything about this laptop ticks the boxes for me. That's why I wanted to give it a go, because it's got great audio quality with the Harman Kardon speakers. It is low blue light. It has a beautiful ASUS Lumina OLED display, which means that when I'm editing, I can really see the visuals. And when I'm editing photos, even when I'm just watching a movie, it just is beautiful as a screen. It's got an AMD Ryzen 7000 series processor, which, if you don't know what that means, because I didn't, it basically means it's insanely fast. The OLED panel means that it's so fast that I don't have to be worried that my computer is going to let me down if I'm trying to get my work done. I can do all my daily tasks with optimal efficiency. I have had the experience in the past so many times where I'm trying to upload a video or I'm trying to get my work done and I'm being failed by technology, and this laptop is so quick that it's just making everything run more seamlessly. And I've been making lots of changes with work recently, and it's really helped that, just to make everything run a lot smoother. So my plan in a minute is to finish the work I'm doing and then get outside on a walk with this one, though at the minute doesn't look much like she wants to go on one. But I highly recommend that if you have been starting your day in a bit of a rush, to wake up that little bit earlier so you can have some slow time just for yourself. And I found for me, even not filling that time with things to be like, I don't know, ticking off a list. I love this time in the morning when I get to just relax with Roxy, have a cup of coffee, you know, potter about in the garden is a great start for someone who is quite fast paced and high energy. It's an important reminder to slow me down. So that's it. And Roxy is snoring. She is in between my legs. Look at her paws. She's so ridiculous.
And as you said,
Can't take the shoe, Bobby. You've got to leave that behind. Let's go. The weather is so changeable in the UK right now as we move into autumn that I have no idea what to wear on dog walks. I've put a waterproof jacket on, but it's sunny, kind of warm, kind of windy. I'm probably gonna get hot and have to take it off in a second. I mentioned in a vlog recently that taking walks without headphones is something I'm trying to push myself to do more and more. I remember years ago listening to a podcast from, I think it was, I'll try and find it and link it, but it was basically all about walking, and it was an expert who studies walking and its impacts on human health, and how when you go on a walk you essentially like clear your thoughts and file all the information and emotions and everything away. And it's what ancient philosophers used to do, it's what old writers used to do. Just they would go on a walk for an hour, come back and write, because your brain goes into sort of a state of I don't know, it's like the activity of walking enables your brain to switch off but also simultaneously process things, organise things, come up with new ideas. It's why loads of people also say about like they have their best thoughts in the shower. It's because they're kind of like switching off but actively doing something at the same time. I think that combination enables your brain to like deal with things. So I was noticing that I was spending a lot of my time going on walks with headphones, listening to an audiobook or music or a podcast, which is nice sometimes. I still do that, but I try and, at least for the first 5 minutes, not have any headphones so that I can just enjoy the walk and switch off, because so much of our lives now are stimulated and we're constantly doing, we're constantly listening and kind of invading our minds with everyone else's ideas, which isn't always necessary. It can be very inspiring, but it also can just like stop you from ever processing what you're thinking or what you're going through. And it's a very mindful practice that I highly recommend. Get out in nature, go to a local park, go walk around in the countryside, wherever you live, don't take any headphones, and just do nothing. I just don't think we do that enough these days. So I'm gonna carry on with my walk as Roxy sniffs. No headphones at all today. I'll probably go on a walk later as well, and then I'll take my headphones. And also, like, I'm doing things today, I'm working, I can listen to things during the day, so it's a good opportunity to just absorb how beautiful where I live is. It enables a lot more gratitude. I can be more present, so I highly recommend. Look at all the curly kale. Everywhere around us has kale. Last year I think it was maybe cauliflower. But look, literally fields upon fields of this everywhere. I must say I much prefer it to the cauliflower because the cauliflower stinks. I need to come back with a bag or Tupperware to get all of these blackberries. There's so many along the hedgerows, which means it's autumn. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to get loads and then the apples off our tree and make a blackberry apple crumble, entirely foraged. I'm all freshly ready. I absolutely love getting ready for the day, which I know sounds like, I guess, obvious, but if you work from home, it can be very tempting to roll out of bed into pajamas and straight into work, and I really try not to do that. It gets me into the mindset if I do my skincare, put some makeup on, make my hair look nice, put some nice clothes on that make me feel cozy and sit down for work, it kind of separates lounging in your home to working in your home, and it creates that physical kind of feeling of moving into work. And I've personally found that extremely beneficial for me when it comes to business, when it comes to motivation, productivity, and just how I've ended up living the life that I live, and being able to work for myself and being able to work from home and just kind of live out my dreams, I suppose, because now I work in a job that I love and I get to decide my own working hours and make creative content that I am inspired by. So it's just amazing. What I always do though, every day, well, I do this in a big way on a Monday, and then I do it every evening after that. I've got my planner and I will go through my calendar on my computer, and I will in detail look at the work that I've got going on, anything personal that I've got going on, and fill out the week. I sometimes do this on a Sunday, but recently I've been switching to doing it on Monday because I was finding that it was kind of making my Sundays not as relaxing. I think there's a great message for like switching off at the weekends and on a Sunday, just having it to revitalize yourself and trusting that on Monday I'm going to sort through everything. So the way that it works is like a planner, and then on my ASUS Zenbook I basically go onto my Gmail, and also I go onto my calendar on here and just organize everything, because I'm doing lots of things at once. If I'm using my editing software, from flitting to emails, etc., it makes everything so much easier. It's 0.2 milliseconds, so it's the fastest response time on any laptop. For now though, I'm just gonna go onto my calendar and block out the week. So we've got projects, and here I'll list any brand deals, any videos I'm making, any content that I've got to work on, anything to do with the book that I'm working on. My book, I think, has gone to print. Which is crazy. If you don't know, I've written a cookbook called Make It Vegan. You can pre-order it now. So all the hard work for the book in terms of like creating it is finished. And then I have a list of tasks. So these are things that don't take very long. They're like 5 to 10 minutes. Just maybe I've got to email somebody, or maybe I've got to complete a form or something. And then quick ticks is stuff that I can just do that's hanging over me. So texting somebody, emailing somebody really quickly, just putting something maybe in my drive and organising it away. When you divide your time like this, it just means things get done, and this has transformed my life in so many ways. Having everything written down and having everything organised means I actually do it, and it's enabled me to make my dreams come true, make my goals come true, make the things I want to do actually happen, because otherwise you can blink and then it's been 6 months and you haven't done the things that you were aiming to achieve. It's a bank holiday, so it's a bit weird. I've got like more space today to do things in the way I want to do them, which is quite nice, though I'm self-employed, so it's a bit like it's the same anyway, but nobody's in the office today, which is good. Also, I haven't charged this laptop yet. It has a very epic battery life, and if you're anything like me and you take your laptop with you everywhere, this is game changing. I always forget to charge my phone. I always forget to charge my laptop. And this is the most incredible battery life. I think it literally lasts up to 13 hours, which, I mean, that is amazing. It means I can just use it all day long and then charge it in the morning or in the evening. It solves the scatty-brained me who always forgets to charge their devices. So I've got my calendar app open. My life, my entire life is on here. And I break down my week this way. So I've got, when we have our meetings, I've got recurring meetings. This isn't happening this week, my weekly team meeting, because it's a bank holiday. But most weeks we will go through what we've got on that week, and then also finance, that kind of stuff. I've also got when people are working, so I know when to message them or when to like speak with them. Stuff here like my hair is being done this week, personal appointments. When I'm filming, I know I'm filming this video today, I know I'm filming another video tomorrow, and it means that when I go to write down what I'm doing this week and what tasks I have, my life is made so much easier and it's all in one place. So I'm just going to do that now, and I'm going to make sure that I know what I'm doing this week and I can get on with it. But highly recommend, if you don't organise your calendar with everything on it and colour code it so you can create little calendars essentially, please start doing it, because it just alleviates the stress. At any moment I can be like, right, I know what's happening, and I forget stuff so easily, and I just don't anymore. I'm on time now. I get things done on time. I meet deadlines because of the fact that I have everything organised in such a detailed way. And I'm not talking just having a calendar where you jot down when someone's birthday is. I mean, like, every day you have it planned out what is happening and when you're working, especially if you work for yourself or especially if you're a student. It's the way to go. I also use a website called Trello, which saves the day. My content calendar is on here. My recipes are on here. All of the people I work with, and it means that any briefs or any information, any dates is in detail on here, any notes that I need to make. So recipes will be written down here before they go on my website. If I'm working on making some particular content with someone, then the brief will be there, the content will be there, all the information, and it means that it's all in one place and it doesn't get messed about, lost in my email somewhere. So highly recommend Trello for organising that kind of thing. I've officially finished my list of things to do and ticked off a couple of the quick tasks. If you don't have a notepad like this, then I'd really recommend on a piece of paper, just starting your week with week overview, then leave that blank for you to do your week overview, and break it down into big projects, quick tasks. What's it called? Yeah. So projects, tasks, quick tasks, and labeling it that way, because then you can just get some of those quick tasks ticked off immediately. So one of mine was to email my accountant, and the other one was to email my editor, Kate. And I've done that because it took 3 seconds. One thing I didn't mention about this laptop is how unbelievably light it is. It's literally 1.4 kilograms, which means I can just throw it in my handbag. And I'm always going out for the day and nipping to my parents or my sisters or to a cafe. And it means I can just throw this in there and do work if I need to go out. And also a cool thing, and the reason that I wanted to get this laptop is because it's environmentally low impact, which is something I endeavour to think about anytime I buy a new electrical device. Whenever I'm getting a phone, a camera, a laptop, I'm always thinking about the environmental impact that it has, how long the item is going to last. So I want to get a good quality item. So the ASUS Zenbook is just so well reviewed, and I have so many family members who have used ASUS. My sister has an ASUS laptop. I'm pretty sure my mum has one. They're just like a very good brand. I know that it's going to last a really long time. It's one of those laptops that kind of ticks those boxes in terms of energy. Obviously, I said to you about how long the charge lasts. So it's a big, big win on that front. If you care about those things, which I know so many of you do, when you're buying something, you want to know if it's environmentally friendly. But now I've done this task, next task is to do a little meal plan and go to the shops. I might have lunch first. It's kind of an annoying time of day. It's like 10 to 12. I'm kind of hungry. And I know that going to the shops when you're hungry is never a good idea. So I think I've got a tin of soup in the cupboard. So I'm going to have that probably with, I think I've got pita bread or bread in the freezer. And then I'm going to go to the shops. I'm really trying at the minute to do meal plans where I'm like basically using what's in the cupboard rather than just buying lots of new things. I want to do like a bit of a kitchen refresh in autumn, because it's autumn in a few days. Probably autumn when you're watching this, and until then I just want to kind of use up what we have, because it's something I like to do at this time of year. Any sort of transitional season, any sort of autumn to winter, winter to spring, I like to start trying to use the food that's already in the cupboards and making recipes from that, rather than just constantly stocking up, because otherwise food just stays in there and then you just end up eating the same things over and over. So this is my current favourite cookbook, the Melissa Hemsley one. I just keep on finding myself going back to it because her recipes just, I get her. I feel like the way she cooks is the way I cook, and it's so easy but also interesting. and so healthy. Like, they're just recipes I look at and I think I just want to eat that. Like, I could open any page. Cauliflower, cannellini and cherry tomato tray bake. I want to eat that. And they have, this is not a vegan cookbook, but it's really easy to adapt, and she mentions adaptations. Sweet corn carrot fritters with herby yogurt and tomato salsa. 1 pot sweet potato and spinach lentil bake. Like, I want to make all of these things. So I'm gonna look through this book, have a quick look in the cupboard, see what things I've got, and also grab this book from Riverford. They do one for every season, which basically is autumn and winter veg. So it goes through the vegetables that are in season, and then it has recipes to accompany them. So this is really useful for that specific reason, because obviously we're going into a new season. I'll do a little meal plan. It's not going to be too in-depth, to be honest. I really want one recipe on there that's going to like feed me for the next few days, because I'm going to be renovating our hallway, which is really exciting if you've watched my last video. So I want to be having meals that are already prepped. So kind of a bit of a meal plan. I do flit between an app that I use called AnyList and just a good old pen and paper. At the minute I'm using good old pen and paper because I'm just busier, and I find if I'm busy I don't have the luxury to sit there on an app and add loads of recipes and do it all in a fun way. So good old pen and paper, and I think this is from Papier. I've shown it a few times, they sent it to me, but you just rip it out and then each week you've got your meal plan. So there was actually one thing last week that I didn't end up making, so I'm gonna make that today, probably. Do I want it? Yes. So it's a spelt and wild mushroom risotto, because I've got spelt in the cupboard, and I can have that today and for lunch tomorrow. Lunch is served. We've got a tin of the creamy tomato soup, plant-based. I think Alex bought this, but I'm having it with a little bit of the Nourish parmesan on top and a couple pita breads with some vegan butter. This is not my favourite one. Alex got this again. I think he likes this one, but I really like the Nutella one. But there we go, nice little cupboard lunch. Feel like a kid. I may have changed my mind about going to the shop. I need to go to B&Q because I need to get my paint and some compost, but I'm just unsure if I feel like going to the shop, because this is something that I feel like is an important thing to mention if I'm sharing like lots of the reasons that I've created the life I have now. One of them is letting go of some of the pressure that I put on myself, because sometimes on a day like today where, you know, it's the start of the week, I have other things happening. You know, some weeks are a bit busier, so I've got a few work things that are kind of overlapping a little bit, so it means it's a slightly busier week with work, just because I've got some accounting things to do, and then there's like a couple of other projects. And then also we're renovating the hallway. It can kind of feel a little bit like, oh my goodness, I have to do everything and I want to do it all perfectly. And then in my head, because I have got anxiety and I talk about it a lot, my mental health really has its ups and downs. The way that I have been able to sort of deal with that when that happens is to not get annoyed that I have poor mental health, or if I've got things going on in my brain, but to understand where it's coming from and to give myself a little bit of a break. Because in the past I would have got very frustrated if I felt anxious or if there were lots of things happening, and it would have kind of created a bit of a spiral effect where things would start to unravel. I might put too much pressure on myself to get everything right and do everything, and then I'd burn out. So what I do now is I recognise when that's happening and I just go, you know what, things don't have to be perfect. I don't have to do things the right way. I can just do them and get them done, and in whatever way that happens. So stuff as simple as going to the supermarket and doing a meal plan, for someone like me, can become a big thing, which maybe none of you relate to, maybe some of you relate to. If you've got a lot happening and you're a perfectionist and you're an anxious person, you can put pressure on yourself to try and maintain that level of perfection, and it won't be maintained, I promise you. You're gonna have to let go of it. You're gonna have to let the pressure off and give yourself a break, because you're gonna burn out, and I'm here to tell you that. So this is me recognising this moment. Alex isn't here at the moment. There's stuff happening in our personal lives that is a bit more stressful. Like I said, there's work overlapping. So I give myself a break by doing an online food shop, which has taken me a long time to get to, which probably for a lot of people is just a normal thing, and it is a normal thing in my life too. But I put a lot of pressure on myself when it comes to sustainability, when it comes to doing the right thing. In my dream world, I go to the farm shop, I get local produce only, I avoid plastic completely, and that is my, you know, dream scenario. But it just sometimes isn't possible. If I could go to the farm shop right now, I could go to the farm shop, I could go to B&Q, get my stuff, get my compost, come home. But I know it will add an extra hour on top of the time I have today, when I've got to get this hallway done and I've got to get work done, I've got to get editing done, I've got to get things done. So instead, I'm realising that, I'm noticing it, and I'm going, you know what, you can't have a perfect day, as the title suggests. Perfect doesn't exist. And sometimes the perfect day is recognising you have a lot on your plate and allowing yourself to take the easier route, which isn't the perfect route and isn't the route that you ideally would want. And you know, there's a lot of it on Instagram and on YouTube, this level of perfectionism when it comes to sustainability, zero waste living, slow living, this idea that people are just capable of growing all their own food and never using plastic and always shopping locally. And that is beautiful, and I want that for my life, I really do. But right now, maybe it's not possible for me. Maybe sometimes I can't because of my job, because of house renovations, because of things going on, and that's okay. And I'm here to be that influencer who's gonna say that. Do your best, and you know, maybe next month or maybe next week when this hallway is done, I can go back to going to the local shops and buying local produce and focusing on my vegetable garden. But I cannot do everything at once because I'm one person. I'm a human being, and actually I've gone from running a household as 2 people to recently running a household now as 1, because Alex has been away a lot, and that means my you know, workload is more. So it's all right. I'm gonna do my Sainsbury's order for tomorrow to come tomorrow. Now I need to remember my login details for Sainsbury's. Let me ring my husband. I've just made myself a cup of tea as well. I love this mug because it's like a bucket. Hello. Do you know what the Sainsbury's login is?
Without looking at the password on Google Chrome, no.
Damn it.
I'm afraid, sorry.
Because I'm using the Zenbook. It's not working. I can get a slot for Tuesday, so tomorrow between 2 and 3. Let's check if that's okay. All I have to do is check out later, so I'm gonna do this on my laptop later on this evening in bed. And this means I don't have to go to the shop. I just have to add something to my cart and check out. I've got my initial shopping list, but I'll finish that later because it's now something that I can just do whilst I'm watching TV. There's a way of making my perfect day that little bit easier. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna put this away and I'm going to go to B&Q in Cambourne and get my paint and compost. And I'm nervous. I'm really nervous about this paint colour. What I might do actually on this computer, because the colour is so good on this computer, this is something I wanted to show you actually. So if you are an editor, if you are a photographer, if you work with any software where you're dealing with images or videos, or if you love watching movies and TV shows with amazing graphics, then this laptop is so good. It has an ASUS Lumina OLED display, which is a really, really beautiful display, which enhances the colours. And they also work at lower brightness. So if I'm editing, the high contrast of the colours means that if it's lower brightness, then I can still see what the colours are looking like. This also has less blue light, which is great if you're editing before bed. I do that sometimes. It even has a colour gamut that they use in the film industry. So that's how high tech the colouring and the screen is on this computer. But what I was gonna say is that because I'm unsure about this colour on our walls, I'll show you the samples in a second, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit a photograph. I'm gonna take a picture of the hallway and I'm gonna edit the photo with the colour on the walls and just see if I like it. I think even somebody said that Dulux has an app that does that for you, so I might look on their website and see if that does it for you, because I don't really use Photoshop anymore, so we'll see. But I'm just unsure, and I'm unsure about committing, so I'm going to show you the hallway. And my gut is I should just commit and stop worrying about it, because who knows, and probably by the time you've watched this video, you've watched the other videos of me going on and on about it. But as you can see, this is the colour. This is Denims by Farrow & Ball. Here it is here. Here it is here. On camera, it definitely is quite true. It feels a little bit lighter in real life than on the camera, but then the screen on here might be slightly different to what it comes up on the computer. And then here's on this wall, and then on this wall, and then it's probably down here where it starts to look a lot darker, because this space is darker. And then, as you can see, it's on here, the bigger sample. This is Mizzle, this is Oval Room Blue. I do really like Oval Room Blue. And if I don't go for Denims, then I will go for another mid-toned blue, because maybe that's the option, because I don't want the hallway to look grey. Yeah, I'm just not sold. So I think I need to do a little bit of editing. And also when I did this mist coat, it does feel lovely and bright in this hallway, which is quite a nice feeling. I've just emailed myself the photos of the hallway. So I'm gonna download all of these. I'm going to edit this colour onto the whole picture with some of these images so that I can visualise what it's going to look like, and this laptop's going to help me to see the colour properly. It might be pretty bad photoshopping, but I'll be able to get the vibe. I've done this very crudely. I was trying to use the lasso tool and the object select tool, but it wouldn't work because it's too many of the same colours. But having just done this, I'm really happy because I don't think it looks too dark, and I think it's giving the vibe I want, the vibe that is a contrast from room to room. And yeah, I'm just quite pleased with it. I think I should go for it. That has helped me so much, even photoshopping it in the most crude manner, because I was trying to figure it out, it's been so long. And seeing it on the screen, and I've shared it with my family and also Alex, it has made me think that this colour is not right. And you've seen me go back and forth about it hundreds of times, but I think the fact that I've been going back and forth about it shows that it doesn't feel right. But what I have found though is Parma Grey by Farrow & Ball, and it's a gorgeous colour. And I think that it is better because it's a mid-toned blue rather than a dark blue. And my fear with the dark blue is that at the far end it becomes very dark, very enveloping with the dark grey slate flooring. It will just feel, there is the risk that you walk in the house and it's like, whoa, this is dark. And I don't want that. Anyway, thanks for deciding that for me. I'm gonna go to B&Q now. I forgot I had the camera with me, so I just went and got my paint. I actually colour matched it with Valspar because they didn't have Parma Grey in Farrow & Ball, they only had the smaller pots. There is a shop down the road called Rabarts that I sometimes go to. It's like a decorating shop in Redruth or Poole, and they're closed because it's bank holiday. So I just went for the Valspar colour match, which I think is really great. They now do this kind of, I think it's called V&Co. It's like a matte, super matte emulsion that is similar to the Farrow & Ball chalky finish. So I got that for the walls, and then I got the woodwork Parma Grey as well for the bench, and for, there's something else it's for as well. Maybe if I do the doors, I'm not entirely sure. And then I got Wimborne White to do the skirting, and potentially the stairs or potentially the doors. I'm not entirely sure yet whether I'm going to be going all blue or contrasting it with white. I think I'm going to contrast it with white because I think that's a really period, like country home look. And on the Farrow & Ball website, for all their colours, they have like suggestions on what to pair it with. And in the description of Parma Grey, it basically said to pair it with Wimborne White if you want that period look, or if you prefer a kind of a crisp finish, to go for a bright white. I think I'm going to go for the walls in the Parma Grey, and then the doors in the Wimborne White, and the stairs in the Wimborne White, and then the ceiling I'll just paint with the trade paint I bought. So it's just a flat plain white, because if I ever do change the hallway, I don't want to also have to paint the ceiling. And I'm going to go home now, and it's like 20 to 4, so I'm not going to be doing, you know, loads of painting today or anything, but I'm glad that I've got that next step done. I'm at the Costa drive-through because the coffee we have is really weird. We've had this twice now, or we've ordered coffee, and it tastes off, or at least I don't like it. Neither did my sister and my mum, because the last time this happened they were like, your coffee tastes weird, and I was like, I thought this and I said this. So I'm treating myself to a coffee from Costa, which I never do really. Occasionally, maybe like once a month, and I'm going for a vanilla latte, and I cannot wait until pumpkin spice lattes are available in Starbucks, because I'm going there the day they have them, but I don't think it's till like the start of September. I'm so ready for autumn, and I know loads of people say don't rush time, don't move forwards, enjoy summer. We haven't had summer in the UK. We haven't. There's been no summer, so I'm over it. It's been horrible, it's been groggy, and I don't like the feeling of it being not summer but not autumn. I'd rather just wrap up and just like decorate my house autumnally and feel like it's autumn. I want to like switch my wardrobe around. Yeah, we're not going on holiday again anymore this year. We were going to go, but we're not going anymore, so I just want to be in autumn. How does everyone else feel? Are you like trying to hold on to the last bits of summer, or are you ready for autumn? Let me know. We have got the goods. I fear if I have a sip it's going to burn my mouth. Shall I try? It feels very hot. Oh, it is very hot, but it's delicious, you know. I do love a Costa. Sometimes I think it's better than Starbucks. Hey chicken! You happy to see me? This is like maybe 5 minutes since I've been home. You're still so happy, look at your little bum. Yeah, Mummy's home. Mummy's home. Go girl. We have the goods, and I want to put the goods onto the wall and see if I like the goods, because if I don't like the goods, then we're in trouble. We're in deep, deep trouble. Deep, deep trouble. Where's the screwdriver? New paint, Bobby, can you see it? So this is the brand V&Co. Ooh! Bobby! Oh no! I'm so sorry. Oh! Oh, Bobby, I'm so sorry. You just came out of nowhere. Are you okay? Is your little head okay? Is it okay? Oh my gosh, Roxy came out of nowhere and I just whacked her in the head. Dogs do that a lot. Oh, or maybe it's because I was being fast. Oh, I don't know where the other screwdriver is, the big one that has some kind of leverage. Here is the colour. Very, very different to that. Very different. I really ought to have bought a Palmer Grey Farrow & Sample just to compare how accurate this colour matching is, but we did it in Stydians with Farrow & Skimming Stone, the same colour that we've got in our living room, and it was amazing. It looked just like the Farrow & photos, so I've got high hopes for this. This paintbrush is a little wet, so that might cause some problems. I'm really worried that where I've done the mist coat, I used a roller that was just in the box, but it was a really thin roller, and this has left like a little line, and we've just had this freshly plastered, right? And I'm now paranoid that there's even a mark there, that there's going to be like basically like lines everywhere because I can see them. There's one there, there's one there. Oh good, I've just given myself more work. I think what I'll have to do is I'll have to paint, and then if it's a problem or it's visible, I'll just have to go over it with a sandpaper before I do the second coat. But that is very interesting because it's kind of more like what I had in my mind, like a grey blue, whereas that looks so dark. So I'm actually really happy with this. Let me put it on a different area. Roxy, that's not the best place to go because you're going to get splattered. You're going to get paint on you. Off! So immediately it is communicating what I wanted from the colour. This is my favourite comparison because this what was on before And look how bright and vibrant that feels. And it's showing me now that going for these kinds of colours doesn't work in this space, whereas that does, because you can just feel the vibrancy of it without it being like a really in your face colour. Because it's a cool, it's like a north facing area, so it just works, whereas like greens and greys have a feeling of being a bit, you know, even this, because it's warm toned, it just gets lost. But you can see how beautiful that is, and it's going to be a mid-toned blue. It's not going to look light at all, but it's going to look vibrant. I am worried about these lines I've made with the mist coat though. Can you see? Like, why did I do that? I used a shitty roller and it is now all over my walls that have been freshly plastered. Look, you see those lines? So I'm gonna have to paint, I'm gonna have to paint the walls with a normal roller. You can see them all there. And I'm gonna have to sand the wall. Oh, I really have given myself extra work. Well done, Maddie. That's me being hasty with just using whatever roller I had. And I actually didn't buy a roller, so I can't even roller today. But I could cut in and I could paint the ceiling. You know, that would be a really good job, but boring job, but kind of has to be done first because you don't want to be cutting in twice. You want to be painting and not worrying about the edges and then painting over it. So, yeah. I have just posted my YouTube video for the day and also a reel. If you are one of the people who asks me about places to eat out as a vegan in Cornwall, go to my Instagram and check out one of my most recent reels because I share, I think it's 4 places that are really great for vegan food, so you can go have a look at that and see. You can see if those places are the sort of food that you fancy and save it, so if you're visiting Cornwall you can have a look. I'm gonna do a blog post though when my website relaunches, all about that, and like add to it so that I can send that your way if you're asking about where to eat out in Cornwall as a vegan. But yeah, YouTube video posted. Hey Bobby. Reel posted. I am not going to do any painting today because it's like literally 20 to 6. Been a really busy day, been a really good day actually. I feel like it's been a nice mixture of work and also renovating and vlogging. Roxy is loving this stroke. I just fed you. What do you want? Maybe she wants to go out again. Maybe I'll take her up the road. I'm loving the choice of paint colour, if you can see it in the haul. The bottom one is what we've gone for and I really, really love it. I'm really happy with that choice. I don't have a roller, so I can't really do any proper painting, and it's also not particularly helpful to be starting painting at 6 PM at night, and I need to just take a chill pill and stop for the day. So I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna put the compost in. No, I'm not. I've just said to take a chill pill and stop for the day, and I'm setting myself another task. Reminder. So I'll do that in the morning. I'll do that first thing tomorrow morning. I'm gonna make my dinner and I'll show you what I make for dinner. It's gonna be pretty simple, I think, and I'm excited because I'm hungry. I'm gonna get out these paint clothes I never even needed to be wearing in the first place. Here are my ingredients: mushrooms, chives, vegan parmesan, vegetable stock, garlic, salt and pepper, broccoli and mushrooms. I'm adding the broccoli because it might be okay actually. I haven't measured the amount of mushrooms I have. And then some spelt. It's literally just a BBC Good Foods recipe. And I just put in spelt recipe and this came up and I just thought that just sounds easy and simple. And you know, BBC Good Food is sometimes all you need. So I'm gonna make this and switch off for the evening. And if you're anything like me, I always put on YouTube. I have been watching Zoella's Vlogust, and I think I'm on day 10.
I've done so many great eye looks with this.
So I'm going to watch Zoella with my lovely laptop screen that literally is like a television. I love that also the edge of the laptop's really thin, so it looks like a really lovely television. And I'm going to get cooking.
And look, I've been really pleased that I'm now using it, and that is also using on my eyebrows. And I wanted to see if there was anything else worth sharing with you before I start, like, to see if I use it. is a really special purchase for me. I'm in a good mood. There's something cold. A bit of tidying up. Then it will track you around the room.
I just thought I would show you. I literally just got a notification saying the battery is low. It is 6 p.m. and I started using this laptop at maybe like 9 a.m. this morning, and it was about half charged. That is wild. I've never had a laptop last that long when it comes to charge. That is the fact that I've been able to use this all day and it was only half charged without thinking about it. And I've been working on it, editing on it, everything. So I'm gonna plug it in now, but I'm just very impressed by this battery power.
So I have to say, I do have pineapple slices in. Get it on the first go.
But I didn't have it at all. Sounded like you almost.
That which Alfie and I both really like. It's probably our favourite one. But let's see what. How can. No, I'm sorry. Then maybe the puppy in this picture.
Dinner is served. How good does this look? I'm so excited to eat this. Because when the husband is away, I can eat all of the mushrooms. That is so delicious. I'm gonna leave that recipe linked down below. I didn't have the creme fraiche because this was supposed to be on my meal plan last week and I don't really know what happened. Maybe I went out or something. Sometimes that does happen with a meal plan. So it got pushed over into this week and I used, oh, I know what happened. I think I was craving pasta, so I made a pasta dish and I used the Oatly creme fraiche for that. It doesn't really miss it though, like it still tastes delicious. I used vegan parmesan, which I always have in the fridge, this one. I just really love it. And I drizzled a little bit of olive oil on there. You could put a bit of vegan butter in if you wanted to. It's only like a tablespoon of creme fraiche anyway, so it's not like it makes huge difference. But the chives on top, I think, are a must because you can smell them. And I think one of the experiences with food is before you eat it, you can smell. And the smell of the chives is so delicious next to the smell of the mushrooms. And this is my first time ever making risotto with spelt. It's really good to vary the grains that you eat. It's just so good for you, so good for your body to eat different grains. And I get in a bit of a rut where I just have rice. So this is yummy. Good evening. Kitchen is tidy and I am gonna go to bed now. One thing that has really changed my life for the better is having early nights and waking up earlier and not having my phone in bed. I leave my phone downstairs and it means that I don't have to be distracted by social media, by messages. It means my screen time goes down and I can just properly wind down for the evening. I can do my skincare, have a cup of tea. I'm gonna make a cup of tea right now. What shall I have? I think I'm gonna have this Nim Apothecary Moon Blend Herbal Tea, which is rose, lady's mantle, cranbark, lavender, chamomile and raspberry leaf. Raspberry leaf is great for women, pre-menstrual, pre-period. I think it's really good for you. So I'm gonna have some of that. And it's also really great to leave your space clean. These things may seem obvious, but I just think that so many of us don't find these things come naturally and don't find them easy. So even if you only have 5 minutes, set a timer and clean for 5 minutes and that's enough. Even if you just put the food away, wipe the surface and put the stuff ready to wash up the next day, if you don't have the capacity, like I've got one pan that's soaking because it's too much, I can't be bothered to clean that right now. I'm gonna clean in the morning after it's been soaking for a while. And I can come in this kitchen tomorrow and not feel burdened by the evening before. And I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna put on classic FM, maybe meditate. I was listening to Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk again. I've listened to it before and I'm listening to it again as a reminder, and he talks about visualization and basically using in the evenings a meditation time to imagine waking up the next day in peace and waking up in gratitude. And I have an issue with when I wake up, I am in a panic sometimes. So I'm going to sit and visualize waking up in a peaceful frame of mind, waking up with gratitude and with a calm sense in my head, and hopefully that should calm my mind for the evening. I'm going to take my magnesium and I'm going to be rested up for the night. And that is That's my full day. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and it's inspired you. I hope you've loved seeing the ASUS Zenbook. I'll leave a link to it down below so you can find out more of the sort of intricate details about the laptop. And I highly recommend it if you're in the market for a new one, because I love it. It's been traveling around with me everywhere I go and it's just so easy to use. It's made working and editing and the memory card cut out. Thank you again to ASUS for sponsoring today's video. I'll leave a link to it down below if you're in the market for a new laptop. I highly recommend it. It's been going with me everywhere. I'm loving it for work and for just personal use as well. It's such a great laptop and I love that they are taking innovative steps towards using environmental materials and making it such an incredibly well-functioning laptop with great speakers, with great processing power, an incredible screen, and I'm just in love with it. It's my favourite laptop and it's the best laptop I think I've ever had, and I just am absolutely in love with it. So I really recommend. I'll leave it below like I said, and I'll see you in my next one. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'm gonna go do my skincare and sip on my tea. Good night.